We're watching films on the toilet, because that's what dads have to do. When the movie's unsuitable for your kids, then pretend you need a number two. If you need a break from your family or spouse, there's a lavatorial picture house. Watch Terminator 2 while you're sitting on the loo. Enjoy the whole of Rambo 4 with your trousers on the floor. We're watching films on the toilet. How about you? Well, what are you seeing, Eamonn? What are you seeing?
I'm saying sorry.
Sorry?
Because, obviously the listeners won't be aware of this, but we just done about 20 minutes of chat, and I realised I wasn't recording audio.
Yep.
So, having to start over again. So, if we're basically going to recreate the conversation we already had, so if it feels somewhat half-hearted, that's the reason.
I was going to let it go, but you're very honest. So this is how we start the podcast now. We're not going to tell you what it's about because you listen to the theme song and you know. Like, no one new listens, do they? So
no, 73 or 4 people listen to this podcast. It never increases, so we're not doing it again. I'm not wasting my time.
What I will say is that today we are going to be discussing 2002's Equilibrium, which was directed by Kurt Wimmer. He is responsible also for the film Ultraviolet, which is not good, and the Point Break and Total Recall remakes. He wrote them.
He's got quite a pedigree, this guy.
Yeah, what a dude. But will Equilibrium break the mould before there was a mould?
We were due to be discussing the Nick Cage film, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, but Ben said he couldn't be bothered to go and see it, so we decided to do this instead.
Which is a lie.
So Ben, what have you had going on?
Well, Eamon, you're lucky that I can talk properly. I couldn't move my mouth properly until about half an hour ago because I had a filling at the dentist. The dentist had very large fingers, like sausage fingers. He looked like he played rugby. He was a very big man, and he was not gentle at all. It was not a nice experience.
But you know how, like, if you're a pilot, you can't be beyond a certain height?
Yeah.
I think the same should apply for dentists and big fat fingers.
Yes. If their fingers are about the size of an average sausage, then they shouldn't be putting them in people's mouths.
The last part of the exam is like, congratulations, you've passed the written part of the exam.
Yeah.
Final thing, if you can just place your forefinger next to this sausage.
Yeah. Oh, no. All that studying, but maybe you should have looked at your big fingers before you started.
My dad has really big fingers, and one of the best impressions I ever did when I was a kid is I bit the end off a chocolate eclair, jammed it on my finger, and I was like, Dad, your finger looks like this.
How did he react to that?
Classic my dad, just totally bemused, didn't care.
What? Nothing like my fingers.
That's why I don't have chocolate on my fingers, Eamonn. Give us some of those correspondence then. Come on.
We have a couple of correspondies this week. The first one is a letter which has come in via one of our listeners, also called Ben, and I can understand why the letter went to him because I'm called Ben as well. It's from, well, maybe I should read it and then you'll find out who it was from at the end.
Oh.
So, it goes like this. Dear Watching Films on the Toilet, in your last episode, you mentioned that I am unable to play the so-called normal guy. Well, do you smell what I'm cooking? Have you seen the other guys? I die. That's normal. You smell what I'm cooking? How about Get Smart with Steve Carell? He's the hero and I'm not. That's normal, isn't it? Just because I starred in that jungle movie, that other jungle movie, and that other jungle movie doesn't make me abnormal. You smell what I'm cooking?
I have no idea who this guy is.
I worked really hard to get where I'm at, normal, and I intend on keeping it that way. When Stone Cold Steve Austin and I sparred at WWE WrestleMania 19 and I finally beat him to take the title belt, everyone smelled what I was cooking. Chris Pratt, he's not normal. He couldn't smell what I'm cooking if his head was in the oven. Which, frankly, is where it belongs. Oh, and let's not forget singing in Moana. Normal, again. I'm deeply saddened and disheartened by the accusations you've made against my demeanour and the fact that you think I couldn't be normal. Do you smell what The Rock is cooking?
Oh.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
It was The Rock.
It was The Rock.
Oh, I wondered why he kept on saying that.
I know. I mean, you didn't get it right until the end, did you?
No, it's only when you said The Rock. I was just like, oh, it's probably The Rock.
There weren't any clues. Well, this is actually on me because I said The Rock couldn't play a normal guy. Turns out he's really normal.
Tell you what, Ben, it's a much funnier letter than the ones you usually read out.
It was very smart, wasn't it?
Very funny, yeah. Well structured and also related to something we've spoken about, which is something you struggled with in the past, hasn't it, with your letters?
Yeah, I don't take offence to that because all I'm doing is reading them.
Yeah.
Thanks, Eamonn, and thank you to Ben.
Ben, send us, for God's sake, send us more of them.
Good. Well, that went well, didn't it? Okay. We have another piece of correspondence.
Oh yeah, did Ben write this one as well?
No, this was a message that came straight to Films on Toilet HQ.
Oh.
His answering message. And again, but it is related to something that happened in the last episode. So might want to take that back. But anyway, let's see what this person had to say.
Watching Films on Toilet. I hoped I would not have to contact you again. But last week you said something deeply offensive about me, and I will not stand for it. I don't care what you said about me crashing my car into an old man, but I will not accept your claim that I have a triangular-shaped chest and ridiculously skinny legs. At the age of 74, I'm in better shape than ever before, and I'm training to win the Mr. Universe title for the 8th time. To teach you a lesson, Eamonn, I came to your house to fight you, but you are not at home. So instead, I am going to lift up your family car and hurl it down the road. Listen to this, you idiot. There, I picked up your family car and dropped it back down on the ground. You son of a bitch.
And that's it. Oh, so, Eamonn, Arnold came to your house to fight you.
I did think that my car had been moved ever so slightly.
A little bit. I think
A little bit.
he struggled to hurl it down the road.
I mean, I'm being polite to him. I didn't notice anything at all.
Oh, okay. Well, look, Arnold, I said I don't think you have a triangular-shaped chest, and you're clearly still very strong. So keep picking up the cars.
He did break a window in my car when the point of his triangular chest pierced the boot window.
That's not true. I like Arnie, so I'm keeping it civil. I haven't said anything rude.
I like Arnie as well.
Yeah.
I'm just saying he's got a triangular chest.
It's more like a big rectangle, like a big man rectangle. You know what I mean?
I mean, I don't think that's any better, is it? I'd say triangle sounds more sort of athletic.
Yeah, I don't know what a rectangle would look like. Good. Any toilet news?
There is toilet news.
Oh, of course.
Messy student house with note above toilet saying, "Do not piss on the floor." Bottles of vodka on coffee table and piles of unwashed laundry next to untidy kitchen goes on sale for £220,000.
Where's this house for a start?
It's in Hull.
Hull?
No offence, Hull, but I'm fucking amazed a house is worth that much in Hull.
I was going to say
220. Yeah. I was thinking like, where could that be? Sort of studenty, but cheap. Yeah, like Manchester maybe. Like Hull.
Yeah, I mean that must be massive. Okay, so were those the pictures that the estate agents used?
Yeah, so that's basically
right.
The story is that the landlord has made no effort to tidy up this house whatsoever. So there's this picture of like the living room, and there's a load of tins and like trash everywhere, and then in the toilet there's someone's taped like a sheet of paper, and it says, "Lift this seat when you piss." Bless you.
Sneeze. Sorry, go on.
Jesus, what happened there?
I sneezed.
That doesn't sound like a sneeze. What was that?
It's a sneeze. It's just a sneeze. Oh, cat's come in.
Probably attracted by the weird noise. Jesus. But I just loved this story. Lightning strike through exhaust vent blows toilet apart.
Whoa.
Basically, in Oklahoma, a lightning bolt hit the top of this building, travelled down a metal vent and obliterated a toilet completely.
That is amazing.
There's a picture of it, and it's just like it's like it's been hit by a bomb.
Now that is what you want to see recorded in that like super slow motion.
I'd love that.
I watched a UFC knockout. They shoot the UFC fights in 8K.
Yeah.
So you can get incredible slow motion from the shot. So they tend to post the recap with lots of slow motion. And this guy called Tony Ferguson got kicked in the face and knocked out.
Yeah.
And his whole face squashed down into this sort of weird old man goblin face.
Yeah.
As he was knocked out and his eyes rolled back. And I'd say that was worse. That was more embarrassing than the knockout. Looking like that.
I tell you what, I always think at any sporting event, the directors always brief the cameramen to look out for someone doing this. Okay, so usually I see it in tennis all the time. If someone's lost a point or something, they do this. Like that, can't believe my luck.
Yeah.
When they slow that down, it makes them look like absolute dickheads. Blah, 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 like that. And honestly, it's remarkable. Every time someone does it, there's a camera on them. It's just some absolute dickhead director somewhere going, right, when they do that stupid thing with their lips, make sure you're recording slow motion.
Get it.
I was doing it now.
Yeah.
Yeah, every time. What they should do is they should put the sound on it as well, the slow down sound.
That would be amazing.
Great, wouldn't it?
And then they get knocked out.
Yeah.
So, on to Equilibrium. What a treat. Eamon, how did you watch Equilibrium this week?
Did watch some of it in the toilet. I did also watch some of it in my bed, and I did fall asleep and have to rewatch some of it. So, not that that's a spoiler alert.
I mean, your bed and toilet are essentially the same thing, right?
Well, once upon a time I lived in the bedsit, so yeah, pretty much was that back then. Hang on, are you suggesting that I just shit on the bed the whole time?
What are you eating?
Dried.
Can't eat during the recording of this podcast.
I'm starving.
What the hell are you doing?
It's dried mango.
Good.
I've not had my dinner yet. I'm so hungry.
Well, if you can't organise your time properly, then...
Why don't you go yourself?
So you say these things in jest during the podcast, but sometimes they hit, don't they? Sometimes they bite. Yeah.
It's a great opportunity to we're both too passive aggressive to ever have it out, but we sneak in little jabs here and there.
I think it's been good therapy for both of us, actually.
Yeah, it has. Yeah.
It has. Anyway, yeah, I watched some. Carry on. I watched some. Still eating. I watched some of this. I watched all of it on the toilet, which is appropriate because that's where it should be watched. And it took me, I don't know, five or six goes to get through it. Usually I would stop before a big action sequence. In this, I stopped halfway through the action sequence and then came back next time. But anyway, we'll get onto that, won't we? We'll get onto that.
No spoilers.
So what did you drink for me this week, Eamon? I've got to sum up the film in a short period of time, in the time it took you to do a big old wee, which was provided by said drink, which is...
I drank half a pint of Baileys.
Oh, okay. That's almost like what I did with the letters, apparently, not relating them to the film in any way. You've sort of done the same thing.
Yeah, I have, haven't I?
Do they drink Baileys in Equilibrium?
Yeah, they do. Do you not remember when him and Sean Bean, after a hard day's killing, just do you know what how I like to unwind? Half a pint of Baileys.
I like half a pint of Baileys. I mean, that could have... that actually could have worked. They find the poetry and the music and Baileys, a cultured
oh my God, that'd
drink
be amazing.
that really brings out the emotions.
Yeah, it's just this is the most delicious thing.
What is this drink? Anyway, okay, cool. So half pint of Baileys. How long have I got?
You got a minute and 8 seconds.
All right, I think I can do it. You ready?
3, 2, 1, go.
So it's 2072 and emotions have been banned because they lead to wars and stuff. And everyone takes this drug called Prosium to stop them feeling anything because they're told to by the Tetragrammaton Council, which is led by a mysterious figure known as Father. Some people don't listen though because they like feelings, and these naughty sense offenders, are hunted down and executed by the Gammaton clerics, specially trained killers who practice a martial art known as Gun Kata. Sounds stupid, doesn't it? Anyway, Christian Bale is one of these clerics who stops taking his Prosium after he's forced to execute his partner for reading poetry. You're a nice guy. Bale begins to question the intentions of the Tetragrammaton Council and begins working with the sense-offending resistance group known as the Underground to put a stop to all this nonsense. And in the end, he does.
Oh, is that
That's it. That's it.
Jeez.
I'm not going to go into it any more than that.
Okay, well, that was 1 minute and 4 seconds.
Okay, perfect. There we go. I could have talked about, I don't know, his partner and his ex-partner's wife, but why bother, honestly?
Why bother?
Why bother? Had you seen this film before?
I had.
Oh, adding more mango bits for more eating.
Big pile of it when you were just shooting your mouth off just now.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I'll get you started on the action sequences, and you can just bang on about that for ages, and so I'll eat it when you're doing that.
All right, fine. Okay, go on then.
I think I watched it. Can't have been exactly when it came out, but I got it on DVD as soon as it came out at Blockbusters.
Yeah.
And I think at the time, so I would have been pretty young, 23 or something.
Yeah.
I remember thinking like, this film is like shit hot. It's really, really good.
Somehow, I'd never seen it, and I don't know how.
Really?
Yeah, I hadn't seen. I've seen bits of it, but I'd never seen the whole film. All right, you have your dinner, and I'll talk about the action then. Okay. So, what really bothered me about this is that there's this ridiculous story which is very much reliant on these gun sequences. Those are the things that are meant to sell the film, yet they're rubbish.
Yeah.
There's the way they're shot, lots of editing. If you see someone get shot in the same shot, so if you don't cut away from someone getting shot, it has much more impact than if you cut away. Because, you know, when you have two shots, your brain has to link them together, and the more thinking you have to do, the less impact it has. People like John Woo find a way around this. They do cut away, but they'll have a big impact from the shot. So you see someone falling back and blood spraying out. Or John Wick. In John Wick, you see the shots in the same shot because it's very like quote close quarters, bang bang. It really works, and there's lots of blood, and that works too. But this, no blood, no real reactions, just big armoured men with puffs of dust who fall back a bit very quickly. The other thing is the geography. No idea where these people are. They're flying round. It's just shot, react, bang, bang. It was rubbish. Rubbish.
Well,
you finished your meal?
I have no idea if what you said was any good, but I can say that mango was delicious.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Now, did you enjoy the gunshots, Eamonn? Did you enjoy the gunfights?
No, I mean, I'm assuming this is like a cynical ploy to cash in on the Matrix's success, right?
Yeah.
Just trying to cash in on that, and you know, have a lot of the same aesthetic. So
yes,
it's very stark, stylized exteriors.
Yeah.
People in kind of somewhat sort of fetishized costumes. It's like the sort of coats with the kind of tight collars.
Yes.
The bad guys on kind of like leather stuff is very similar to the Matrix.
Well, that's what you were wearing around the turn of the century, wasn't it? You were all about the leather back then.
Only when I went to Asda. That's the stuff I'd wear when I went to Asda.
Get leathered for Asda. That was the slogan back then, wasn't it?
That one didn't work either, did it?
It didn't work. I don't
Dress up in your gross leathers for Asda.
Yeah, that was odd.
Yeah,
that was
that
odd.
was
I can see
stupid.
why that one didn't work. Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway,
It'd be interesting to find out what the budget was for this, because The Matrix has aged. Like when you watch it now, it doesn't.
It doesn't look cheap though.
It doesn't look cheap.
This looked like a student film.
Yeah. So in the Matrix, like all the costumes and stuff are clearly like bespoke, made by a costume department.
Yeah.
Whereas everything they have in this, it's like off the peg. Someone's gone out and bought these from
Yep.
a shop. So that's why a lot of the stuff doesn't quite work.
Well, all the costumes are a George by Asda.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember where they really like went all in on Equilibrium, and they turned their entire clothing range into like Equilibrium? You know, you've seen it in the film. Now wear it yourself.
Put on that red leather hood that woman wears before she gets incinerated. You can recreate that scene.
Yeah, I mean, the premise is it's an interesting starting point, but The Matrix found a really interesting premise. You know, the Descartes, I think, therefore I am. Whereas this one is just it's very, I mean, it's not even studenty. It's like sixth form kind of like, imagine a world without emotion.
Yeah, there are no wars anymore because no one has any emotion. That doesn't make any sense. Like wars are caused by people getting cross. Nothing to do with power or money.
Or people just being like psychos.
Yeah. And, you know, for someone without emotion, Taye Diggs, he smiled a lot.
Yeah.
Which worked because he was meant to be a bit of a smug character, wasn't he? But it didn't work because he was meant to have no emotion. So he wouldn't smile, right?
It was totally inconsistent, and it really sort of falls apart with even like a slight bit of prodding.
Crumbles. I mean, I felt like Bale, everyone was giving it their best shot. What was the feather that played Angus McFadden?
He was weird.
He was weird. And some of his lines, I mean, I don't know how actors keep a straight face delivering those things.
Well, he has a choice quote about Gun Kata, which I will read out for you now.
Please do.
And I'll do it also in his weird cod Welsh accent. Through analysis of thousands of recorded gunfights, the cleric has determined the geometric distribution of antagonists in any gun battle is a statistically predictable element. The Gun Kata treats the gun as a total weapon, each fluid position representing a maximum kill zone, inflicting maximum damage on the maximum number of opponents, or keeping the defender clear of the statistically traditional trajectories of return fire. I mean, by the rote mastery of this art, your firing efficiency will rise by no less than 120%. The difference of a 63% increased lethal proficiency makes the master of the Gun Katas an adversary not to be taken lightly.
Tour of the UK's accents there, Eamonn.
It was, yeah. They're not my strong suit. But, so that is, I mean, it sounds impressive until you actually sort of pull it apart a bit. It's basically saying, you know, we've looked at loads of gunfights, and generally speaking, people stand in one specific position to shoot at you.
Yes.
So if you just duck a little bit, you won't get hit. It's absolute nonsense. It's absolute nonsense.
Or is it genius?
No.
It's stupid, isn't it? It is absolutely stupid.
So anyway, Ben, I've got a list here of little-known martial arts.
Okay.
Some of which are real, others I've made up and are in films.
Okay.
So I'll say the name, and you have to tell me whether it's real or a load of old
Okay, so is the martial art real or have you made it up? Hang on, like film martial arts or actual?
So some are made up ones that have appeared in films.
Right.
Others are actual martial arts.
Oh, I see. No, so it's not just things you've made up. Right, I get it now.
No.
I get it. Okay.
God.
All right. So film martial arts or real martial arts?
Yes.
Okay,
yeah, the
great.
thing I said about 5 minutes ago.
Oh, sorry. I wasn't eating.
Yeah, so
What's
you've got
your
no
point?
excuse, have you?
No, I just drifted off.
Yeah, fine. Okay. Lap goch.
I mean, that sounds like a Welsh martial art. I've been practicing lap goch, is it? I'm going to say that's real.
It's false.
Okay, good start.
It's a Welsh system of self-defense created by Monty Python's Flying Circus.
Oh.
And based on the twin principles of attack being the best form of defense and surprise being the best form of attack.
I'm not going to argue with that.
Okay, good. Here we go. Rough and tumble.
Rough and tumble. I'll say that's real.
It is real.
Yeah.
This is mental. So this is perhaps the first MMA. So despite its tame name, the contest or anything but, the knockout punch in a rough and tumble match was when one fighter managed to gouge out the eyes of his opponent. Unique to the US, rough and tumble fights were common entertainment in the southern state in the 1700s. Some of the better competitors would even file their teeth into points to better bite off the ears, noses, and even genitals of their opponents.
Oh my God.
If ever a name has like really let down what the thing it's all about.
Sounds so fun.
Does rough and tumble? Do you want a bit of rough and tumble?
No.
Dad, don't bite off my cock. Okay, another one. Vibrating palm.
I'm going to have to say that's false.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a martial art move from the comedy cult series The Mighty Boosh.
Right.
It involves rubbing your palm against someone, and as a result, the victim will proceed to buy a hat that doesn't suit them within 2 hours.
Yeah, I can see.
There you go.
It will work.
Okay, right. Golden arm.
I'm going to say golden arm is real.
That's false.
Oh.
Okay. Golden arm, a style of kung fu that endows its users with arms that can withstand direct sword blows during blocking. Featured in The Kid with the Golden Arm.
Wow.
Yeah.
I want golden arm.
Oh, that's good, isn't it? You should get this.
Okay.
Rex Kwon Do.
Oh, Rex Kwon Do is false. That's Napoleon Dynamite.
That is. Yeah. Well done.
Bodhi Sensei.
That's right.
Yeah.
Jailhouse Rock.
I'm going to say that's real.
Yeah. So this is created within the cutthroat world of America's prison system.
Ooh.
Jailhouse Rock is a prime example of no-frills brawling developed by men who literally have nothing better to do than work out and fight. Jailhouse Rock is notable for its brutal training methods, one of which is known as 52 pickup. A deck of cards is scattered about the floor, and trainees are made to pick them all up in order while being beaten mercilessly by 3 or more others.
That sounds awful. But again, it sounds like, do you want to do some Jailhouse Rock? Yeah, cool.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah. We're just going to dance or... No, pick up these cards, mate. Now. Oof.
So there you go.
Oh, that was a great game. I enjoyed that.
Right.
Terrific. So look, Sean Bean is reading William Yeats. I don't buy this whole like high culture thing. I reckon if you'd never read a poem before, you'd probably read Roald Dahl's Revolting Rhymes.
Yeah.
That would be good. A limerick.
Yeah.
And that would conjure some emotion. A complex poet like that, an old poet, you're not going to understand it. It wouldn't make sense.
Yeah, you wouldn't give like a baby beef Wellington.
Absolutely.
Too much. Too much too soon.
Yeah, this is the same thing.
I did think it was hilarious when they raid this house and they prise up the floorboards, which come up in a comically large, obvious prop piece of floorboard.
Yes. Yeah.
And they go, here it is, sir, we found the contraband. And it's the Mona Lisa.
Yeah.
That says a lot about how they feel about their audience. Like, the conversation went like, we need to have like a really good bit of art there, but like, it has to be something these dumbasses will know. Would they know like
Monet,
Dali,
Monet,
or like William Turner?
Yeah.
No, a little bit more famous than that. And eventually they were just the Mona Lisa.
Just make it the most famous painting. All right. The most famous.
The most famous.
Again, but the idea that someone that had never seen a painting before would look at that and be like, "Oh God."
Yeah, exactly. To appreciate any of these art forms, actually, you need a framework within which to appreciate them. You don't just look at something and go, "Oh, that's really pretty." Like when he looks at like the weather, that's maybe the exception. When he sees like a rainbow, you can think, "Oh," but I think with like things like the poetry, the music, you need to learn to appreciate that stuff. It doesn't just happen.
It would be like a picture of a cat, wouldn't it, or a dog?
That's why dumbasses don't listen to classical music.
Yeah. They listen to Venga Bus.
Yeah.
That would be, if he'd put on Venga Bus.
Yeah.
It's like this slow, places the record, needle on. And a little tear runs down his eye. Oh no, they zoom in on his eye and then, for God's sake.
Yeah.
What is it, Eamonn?
Rubbish.
Yeah.
Ben, I've just got a message here from the sponsors of this episode.
We got a new sponsor.
Got a new sponsor. Just I got a little thing I need to read out here.
Okay.
So this episode is sponsored by birds.
Birds.
Ben, it's crazy how often I find myself in need of a bird, but I don't have one. Do you remember it's just last week and you said to me, Eamonn, you said, I've run out of birds. Do you have a spare bird? And I said, no, I don't have any birds either.
Yeah.
So neither of us had any birds.
Yeah.
Let alone a spare bird. Watching films on the toilet is working in partnership with birds to ensure no one has to endure the pain of not having a bird when they need one most.
Right.
Every listener to this podcast is entitled to a free bird.
Oh.
Just log on to bird.com and fill out the request form for your no obligation bird with the discount code watching films on the toilet /birds. After 14 days, you'll receive your free bird in the post and you can use it for all the usual stuff. There we go. Birds.
Oh, birds.
Birds.
Okay, good.
So, anyway.
Yeah, I mean, birds. So, there we go. Equilibrium. We've bashed it about a bit. We've had a go on it. Now it comes down to whether we would flush it down the toilet or fish it out of the bowl. Eamonn, will you flush this film like a Gamaton cleric flushes sense offenders out of Libria?
Yeah.
Or will you fish it out like Sean Bean fished the poems of William Yeats from a burning pile of books?
That's brilliant.
After last week, I had to write something.
After Rambo, yeah. That's a real low point, wasn't it?
Yeah. Anyway, Eamonn, what are you going to do?
Oh, flush this. Flush this film. What about you?
That's it. You just,
Yeah.
No reason. Yeah, I would flush it down the toilet. It was very weak. Did not have any impact on me whatsoever. And I was glad when it was over.
Yeah. So there it goes. So long, Equilibrium.
Bye, Equilibrium. Excellent. All right, good. So that was Equilibrium, which was rubbish. And now we're on to our top five. So, Eamonn, you and me are going to guess each other's top 5 films on a particular theme. Whoever gets the most guesses when we've had 3 goes gets to pick next time's film. And whoever gets the most wrong has to do a forfeit. I lost last week, didn't I?
You did.
I did. So I'm going to go first in the top 5 gunfights.
Oh.
Okay, so we're looking at shootouts, we're looking at gun battles in movies. I've chosen most of the movies for a specific gunfight, I would say.
Good,
Have you gone down the same route here?
Very much.
Okay, cool. All right, well, look, I'm going to get straight in there with the duplicate because I'm not messing around. The bank robbery from Heat.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. Yes.
Super good.
It's a magnificent piece of cinema.
I'm going to say Hard Boiled.
Yes. Lots of John Wick movies have brilliant shootouts, but the hospital shootout in Hard Boiled at the end is probably the best one.
Note, I didn't say duplicate because that film is a piece of shit.
That's absolutely ridiculous. So you're talking about gunfights and you haven't picked Hard Boiled. You're a
Well, it's
jerk.
a load of rubbish, mate, that film.
1 all my go. The Matrix.
No.
Okay, fine.
John Wick.
Yeah, nightclub scene in John Wick is awesome. I'm gambling here. So you've got 2. So I have to get this, otherwise you've won. Okay, I'm going to go with another duplicate. The bar shootout in Unforgiven.
No.
Oh.
Okay, so absolute one-way traffic there, Ben. Absolutely rocked there
Yeah,
in that game.
I couldn't predict your dumb choices. Let's hear what they are.
Okay, so Heat I had.
Yeah.
The Wild Bunch.
That's all right. Yeah.
Good, the Bad and the Ugly. Really tense, tight.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it is good, isn't it? So you're eating your words. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Scarface.
No.
And the last one is the railway station shootout in The Untouchables, which I think is amazing.
I had that on my list to choose for you.
We should have chosen it, shouldn't you?
I didn't choose it though, did I?
So what did you have then?
I had Heat. I had Hard Boiled. I had Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
Yep.
The final shootout in that. Unforgiven. I love that scene in Unforgiven because beforehand they explain how people miss when they panic. So
Yeah.
you've got Clint Eastwood really taking his time, hitting all the right shots, and everyone else around him's just like pooping themselves. It's a great scene. And John Wick, the nightclub scene.
Ah, very good. I tell you what, another good revisionist western, Open Range.
Oh yeah, that's good.
The
That has a
really good shootout in that.
That
at the
does
end.
have a good
Kevin
shootout.
Costner walks straight up to a guy and shoots him in the head. That's how
It
that
does.
one starts. It's really good.
Honorary mentions while we're at it. I'd say the best shootout I've seen for some time is on telly, actually. It was an episode of Gangs of London, and it was this very tense shootout in a sort of fortified cottage, and it's insane.
Oh.
It's absolutely brilliant.
Oh.
Directed by old Gareth Evans.
Who you
the man.
bloody love.
Yeah, I do. That was fantastic. If you haven't seen that, you should watch it.
So, Ben, your forfeit is to slice off another man's face with a sword.
Yeah, that makes sense. That actually does make a lot of sense. It's fine. I'm not fazed by it.
Yeah.
I'll give it a go. And unfortunately, I lost last week as well. So my forfeit was to become a Christian missionary. And this is what happened. So this week, I've become a Christian missionary, like the ones in Rambo. And I thought I should travel to somewhere that really needs the light of God to shine down on its people. Somewhere underdeveloped and impoverished, somewhere truly awful. And that's why I've come to Plymouth, to spread the good word.
I gave you one outside the car.
Hi guys, have you heard about Jesus at all?
No, we're trying to have a conversation here.
Sorry, I couldn't help overhearing. You know, when I'm faced with a difficult decision or a conflict, I find praying really helps. He's not giving up, is he?
Oh, so if I do some praying, yeah? Will Jesus help me get 2 million followers on my YouTube channel?
That's not really how it works.
Will he help me get 2 million followers?
It's hard to say.
Will he help me get 2 million followers though?
No.
No, exactly, thank you.
It's funny you should say that though, because Jesus actually had a lot of followers. And ow! Oh, you broke my nose. Oh.
Do some praying, mate, it'll be fine in the morning.
Sorry about that, mate. God bless. Oh. Good. Well, thanks for listening.
Yeah.
Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, review us, all the places. Do it.
We read a really nice review that someone's put out there recently, and I was, honestly, flipping love it.
Someone reached out, and it was beautiful. So thank you to that person who also sent a letter in this week.
Yeah, same person.
Yeah, that's it. Right,
all right.
Good. Eamonn?
Cheers then. And also keep flushing.
That's what you meant. Well done. Bye.